There exist certain cosmic truths. Avatar is great, time is an illusion, no one hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans, and comic continuations of cartoon shows are all terrible. So of course, The Legend of Korra would be no different. Today, we're gonna talk about turf wars. They decided to make Korrasami a thing? Might as well milk the shit out of that decision. Just to catch you guys up on what you missed, go watch my other videos. It's Legend of Korra though, so you're not missing much. Or are you? I'm seriously asking, I still haven't made up my mind about this beautiful mess we call a show. This comic though, I've made up my mind. Korra and Asami are in the spirit world having a Christian-approved vacation. Nothing of note happens. They met a rock monster, enjoyed the flowers, sucked a little face, talked endlessly about their feelings. Because it's not enough that they're a couple, they have to endlessly talk about being a couple. The board is clear? This is the answer. What is the question? Talks endlessly about being gay, but doesn't develop the relationship. Does it mean it was written by a cis white guy? Correct! Making a quick detour back to the South Pole so that Korra can gush to her parents that she's dating Asami. Dilf and Mom are supportive, but think they should keep the relationship on the DL. Because in a world of spirits, magic, and gods, not being straight is something people still have time to care about. The whole coming out to your parent thing ends immediately because Caution and Korra aren't on speaking terms, leaving in a huff thinking her parents are raging homophobes. They're not, but they aren't as supportive as she wants, so in her mind, that means they're against her. They use the spirit buttholes to transport back to Republic City, where you guessed it, evil capitalist is ruining things. Turns out he owns the core of the city that Korra accidentally nuked into a nature reserve, and wants to turn it into a theme park where you can sell tickets to the spirit world. And that doesn't have Jurassic Park written all over it, but okay. Jinora is against him, saying that no, this is sacred land now, which I take issue with because this series has gone out of its way to suck the sacred out of the spirits. It's more like Alice in Wonderland than spiritual. This eel thing is around to talk vague spirit bullshit about how spirits and humans can't coexist. Korra refuses to admit that she made a mistake and won't close the portal. Rah, nature is sacred, spirit world is its own dimension. None of this feels earned though, so let's just keep moving to Tenzin, who is now back in the story. He does nothing, but he's back. There's a refugee crisis going on, and the president, who has been reduced to generic corrupt politician, is too busy worrying about re-election to help with anything. And I think the man gets a bad rap. He only made one mistake in the original series, not giving his army to Korra to stop Unalaq. I mean, Korra tried to use his navy to interfere in another nation's civil war, and he refused her. That's pretty logical thinking. Big speeches are made. That aunt, Kaya, puts together that Korrasami is happening. President Incompetent meeting happens. Skip that, Kaya is back, and telling us about her first girlfriend, and throwing out lore about how the other nations treat homosexuality. Water is don't ask, don't tell. Earth is super conservative. Fire Nation was cool with it till it got outlawed by Sozin, who was just pissed that his boyfriend left him for a woman. Then Air was free love, even though they talked endlessly about detachment, and the fact that they ever got laid is shocking to me. Thank you, Exposition Aunt. You're to Avatar what Buttercup is to Powerpuff Girls. The safe pick. Because if they're gonna add representation somewhere, you're the expected decision that they'd make. Personally, I would have preferred former war hero Boomy to have been the queer one in the family. I can't explain it. I just think it fit him very well. Out on the streets, the triads are finally relevant, with fanfic villain Tokukage? Fuck it, whatever, he's not Jet. A hook sword, chi blocking gangster who just feels like they just took all the cool normal characters and just squished them together. His gang war gets interrupted by Mako with his perpetually tagging along brother. Olin has no life outside of what the plot tells him to do. Cut to the end of the chapter where gangsters are attacking the airbenders because evil capitalist. He's not effective at all. Spirit Eel gets a dark makeover to show its anger because a palette swap is easier to do than to have to come up with an actually good design like Heibai's. Running through the fan-made character, Korra and Asami get added to their friends who are so supportive. Except Mako.
Did I do that?
Mako, you didn't turn them gay. Oh, and the hook guy is now Spirit Monster hybrid thing, which is so many flavors of awful, and not just because it was introduced in season 2. Moving on. Hope you all like cringe-ass comic dialogue, because this chapter is full of it. The Aang clan heads to the spirit world to make sure everyone is still cool after the fight. Everything is dead though, and it's been 3 pages so far, so we need to remind everyone that Korrasami is a thing. I don't understand. When Asami and I came here, the flowers were all blooming. They were spirits everywhere, and now...
They're gone. Jinora told me about you and Asami. I know this place was special to you both.
The fuck? She didn't mention the shit about this place. The comic literally feels like it's just missing pages of dialogue, and it never feels right. Okay, so everything being dead is a warning from the spirits not to come into the spirit world, with murder vines sprinkled around for good measure. Outside, the military is setting up a perimeter around the portal because that's the reasonable thing to do. But reason doesn't jive with this show's Fight the Power brand, so it annoys the heroes. Speaking of which, Lin won't bring in the evil capitalist because he is, quote, Republic City's most powerful, well-connected land developer. Oh my god, I just clicked why I hate this dialogue. It reads like a fucking cable TV crime drama. No subtlety, all exposition with zero investment from any of the characters because they have to do this every week. Boom, now I know why I always hated this comic. On the other end of the TV spectrum, homes for the homeless are being built, politicians are making promises they can't keep. Korra wants President Raiko to lift the perimeter around the portal, but he says, hold that thought, let me just remind the crowd that after the city was destroyed and forever altered, Korra took time off to get laid, and the crowd immediately turns on her. Team Harem wants a different president, so they pick Zhu Li to run. You know, Zhu Li, who spent 3 seasons being Varric's blank-faced servant before standing up to Varric, then marrying him. Not Zhu Li. Mako is still processing how his girlfriends are now dating each other, so to get that off his mind, they go pick on some street orphans. Asami gets a late-night visit from another Triad boss who wants to flirt, who leaves immediately when Asami brings out a taser. Eelface is ranting about becoming the greatest Triad in history, or something to that effect, with a police raid happening somewhere else. Korra and Asami are having their first couple fight because Korra wants to use excessive force on every problem that Asami has. Refugees have a food crisis, and Raiko is delaying supplies. Allegedly, Varric takes a break from being himself to be an emotionally supportive husband. This isn't out of character, but it feels way too easy. Korra's date stands her up, so something must be wrong. Grabbing her goons, she attacks a crystal lady who doesn't have her. The Triad are attacking an army depot. Korra is about to turn Eel into Unagi, but Daphne got kidnapped again. Hooray. Okay, chapter 3. Long story short, Eel Guy is attacking the other Triads. Air Jedi are holding a demonstration, I think. It's just them, and they're demonstrating to no one but the military. Raiko's in the dumps after he realizes that being president during a crisis rarely gets you reelected, but his spin doctor gets him to keep on trying to make things worse, using his water benders to hose the peaceful protesters. Subtle. But let's backpedal for a moment to an earlier point in the comic where Asami and the evil capitalist are having a moral debate on ethical business practices. Eelface wants Asami to attach a crop duster to his airship so he can gas the city. She refuses. 3 seconds of threatening to kill an asshole later, she agrees. Korra attacks the Indian crystal lady, who takes him underground to the only cave in the city big enough to house airships. Earthbending's a thing, and I don't know why they couldn't make a new one, but whatever. They attack, tough words are said that mean nothing. Ships take off while Asami still on it. She tries to get out of the damsel archetype by sabotaging the crop duster, but nah, she's still the damsel. Eelface asshole tries to take over the city because he has technology.
We have technology!
But it's not gonna work. Raiko doesn't give a fuck about 2 people being on the ship. He's not getting upstaged by this asshole. Sami's real plan goes into effect, but she didn't account for the windows. Airbenders do their thing to keep the poison away from the people, and Julie is there to be inspiring. Korra flies up to the ship, gets inside, beats up the bad guy while Asami drives. Like always, back in the real world, spirits have gone dark. Original eel-faced asshole is ranting about spirits good, people bad, corrupt men, yada yada yada. I don't give a shit. Capitalist suddenly has a change of heart because this is a 90s movie, and what's a 90s film without reminding us at the end that capitalism is good. Also, he doesn't realize what he was doing is immoral. He just realizes these people saved his life and he kind of owes them one. So he hands the land over to the city, and when Julie is president, she hands it over to the air nomads because they know all about that spiritual shit. Whatever happened to their detach yourself from the world mantra? Seems a lot like they're just serving the world now. Whatever. At Julie's inauguration / B plot wrap up, Bolin villain is leaving the Force to go be whatever his passion leads him to next. Korra and the polar bear she calls a father make up after getting huffy over how out and proud Korra was, ending speech about the power of change, progress, and a bunch of other statements we've heard 3 other times. ChorusSarcastic celebrates being canon, despite their chemistry still not being the best in the show, or in the comic, but whatever, it's a comic. No one reads a tie-in comic anyway. That's what YouTubers are for. Alright folks, that was Turf Wars. Don't read it. This is like the original Avatar Last Airbender comics. They have interesting tidbits. Overall though, they're terrible. Characters don't actually change. Everyone's stuck in a permanent state of stasis. And it's never gonna be as good as the original show. It just never will. But thank you all for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. I'll be doing the next chapter next week. I'll be doing the next story arc next week. And oh boy, Kuvira's gonna be back. Will they give her a personality? No, they don't. Bye!